All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Alexis Miller, and I'm going to be your yoga instructor today. So, welcome back to the beginner, intermediate, and advanced yoga series, where in this part, we are focusing on our hips and low back. So, stretches to help us get into our bodies, particularly in our low body, help us loosen up those muscles that are so tight for so many of us. Today's edition is the floor edition. So, really, all you need are perhaps some blocks or similar support and just to be down on the floor. This is going to be a really great class for this today. So, as we move through practice today, let's keep in mind our boundaries. Notice where are you ready to extend into postures? Where do you need to modify and come back down to that first posture or even down to the mat, or where you just need to stay in the center? Also, keep in mind I don't often cue water. So, if and when you feel thirsty, of course, please feel free to step off your mat, grab that drink, and join us whenever you feel ready. So, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and come into a comfortable seat. Our legs can be crossed or straight out in front of us. You can be sitting on a prop like a block. I'm on the flat side of my block, the lowest setting, or you can just be down on your mat. We're going to wiggle back and forth to root down into our sits bones, then we'll sit up nice and tall. We'll inhale as we draw the shoulders forward and up, and then exhale as we drop them back and down. One more time. Inhale, our shoulders come forward and up. Exhale as they drop back and down. Good. Find a comfortable position for your hands, whether on your knees, palms up or down, or in your lap. You can close your eyes if you'd like, or simply find an unmoving point and soften the gaze here. We often wait for kindness, but being kind to yourself can start right now. There's no time like the present to start being kind to yourself. It's funny, practices like this, or even yoga or meditation, often fall into the I'll get to that tomorrow bucket. But every moment is a new opportunity to begin again, to start anew, to start living the life we truly want to live. It's easy to wait for others to be kind to us, to show us that we deserve such affection. However, the truth is, you've always been and always will be deserving of kindness. Start being kind to yourself right now and watch how it transforms your life. During today's practice, I invite you to feel kind things or say kind things to yourself throughout the practice. Notice how you feel right now, then touch in with how you feel at the end of the practice. So, settling in, taking a deep inhale through your nose, filling your belly, lungs, and chest with air, and then slowly exhaling that breath back out. Take another deep inhale, fill your belly, lungs, and chest with air. And slowly exhale that breath back out. Take another deep inhale as you feel your belly expanding outward like a big balloon. And then exhale as you draw that belly button in toward your spine. Inhale as you feel your torso expand, your collarbones gently lift. Exhale as you feel your shoulders release down and away from your ears. Inhaling air in your nose, down your throat, filling your lungs. And then exhale as you squeeze that air out of the lungs. Move it up your throat and out your nostrils. Continue breathing in this way, inhaling and exhaling with intention, really noticing the movement of the breath here. Now, if you find that the mind wanders off on a thinking adventure, that's okay. It happens. Celebrate the moment you've noticed you've gone away, and then come back to the breath. Come back to focusing on your inhales and your exhales. If it's helpful, perhaps incorporate a mantra to help you stay grounded and focused on the breath here. Inhale, I deserve. Exhale, kindness. Inhale, I deserve. Exhale, kindness. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments today. Take another deep inhale here as you set intention or a purpose for your practice today, which really can be anything at all, but it often answers the question, why did I get on my mat? Take a nice deep inhale here. Feel the intention with your heart and mind. And then exhale the breath out. Set the intention off to the side, knowing we'll return to it toward the end of our practice. Lovely. If you're seated on a block, we're going to go ahead and move that off to the side here and just come into a nice, easy cross-legged position. If this is uncomfortable, legs can always be straight out in front of you. So we're going to start by sweeping our arms wide, bringing them up overhead, cast our gaze skyward, and then exhale, twist over to the left, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind the body, curve your head around into a seated twist. Inhale returns you to center, and then exhale, we twist over to the right, left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the body, curve that head around into a seated twist. Inhaling back into center, exhaling over to the left again, curving that nose around as far as you're able, bringing that twist all the way up into the neck. Inhale returns us to center. Exhale, twist us over to the right. Really feeling that rotation here through the spine while the hips stay rooted onto the ground. Good. Inhale returns us back into center. Exhale, drop your left hand down to the mat and bring it about a foot away from your body. And then lean over to the left as you reach through those right fingers for that seated side bend. So press into that bottom hand, reach through those top fingers, feel that gorgeous pull through the side body. Stack the shoulders, opening up the chest here. Good. And those top fingers kind of dip down toward the floor as you bend. You can always drop this bottom elbow down to a block or the mat if that's accessible for you. If you need a deeper stretch, just notice what feels right for your body. Really tuning into that pull through the top of the right hip here. Nice full breath. Good. And then inhale returns us to center, switching hands. Right hand comes down, step it about a foot out to the right, and then exhale, lean over to the right, reach through those top fingers, coming into your seated side bend. Ooh, a nice full stretch here. So reaching through those top fingers here. Again, pressing into that bottom hand so you're staying lifted and not just totally compressing over, feeling that pull through the side body. Bottom elbow can drop down to a block, a prop, or down to the mat if you need a deeper stretch here. Really tuning into that stretch to the top of the left hip, stacking the shoulders, feeling that opening through the chest and the heart center here. Good, nice deep breath. And then inhale brings us back into center. Great job. I'm going to rotate so you can see me here. So coming into a nice seated position or staying in your nice seated position, hands come onto the legs in a comfortable spot. For me, that's on my knees. And we'll move into our seated cat cows. So inhale, press the belly forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together, look up toward your ceiling or top of the room, seated cow. And then exhale, press into the knees or the legs, hollow out the back and the belly, look down toward your pelvis, coming into a seated cat. Inhale into a nice deep seated cow. So bringing that chest forward, squeezing the shoulder blades together, feel the heart center opening. Exhale into a nice high seated cat, really rounding those shoulders forward, feeling those shoulder blades separate. One more time each side. Nice deep cow, lifting through the torso and squeezing. And then exhale into a seated cat, hollowing the shoulders, looking down toward the pelvis. Good. And then inhaling into neutral. Lovely. All right, so let's go ahead and come into a nice seated position here. We're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold here. And so you're going to extend those legs nice and long. I'm at an angle so you can kind of see the hinge while also seeing my body position here. So nice wide angle. No, notice what works best for you. We're trying to get wider than just that normal stance. So, but it doesn't have to be fully out, like you're a gymnast or something like that. Okay. And if you are a gymnast, that's great too. All right, so sitting up nice and tall, let's go ahead and inhale, lengthen through the spine, exhale, hinge at the hips, and start to walk those hands forward, coming into that seated forward fold. Nice. So we may not be able to go very far at first. We might be a little bit tight. So you have a couple options. You can remain right here on the hands. You can always use a block or blocks for support under the forearms. Trying to keep those toes so they're pointed up toward the ceiling. So that may mean you need to rotate them back so they're pointing up here. Keep that spine long. Chin is tucked, so you're looking down toward the mat here. So you're really reaching through the crown of the head at the same time as hinging forward. So you have a nice flat back, and that's going to mean you're getting a nice deep stretch of the inside of your legs here, which is what we're going for. So let's take a couple deep breaths here together. Notice how you may sink a little bit deeper in the posture. Notice how the body wants to get into that. The muscles start to release. Good. And then inhale, let's go ahead and press ourselves on up into center. Great work. We're actually going to make our way down onto our back. Make sure that your area is clear on both sides of you, and you may want to keep a prop nearby. Okay. So coming on down onto your back here, placing your head on the mat, and then bringing your knees up into little mountains. So let's go ahead and start by taking our left leg and crossing it over the right knee, and then gently pressing that knee away here. Okay. We're going to allow our arms to fall open wide. And then on an exhale, allow the knees to fall over, or the legs just as they are to fall over to the right here. So you notice that my left foot comes down to the floor, side of the right leg comes down to the floor here. If you don't quite reach, you can always place a block on any of its sides underneath the foot for some extra support here. Now, as you come into this position, think about rotating that knee so it's pointing straight up toward the sky. We're going to feel a nice stretch through the outside of our left leg when we do that. We're opening up that hip. We're also getting a nice little twist through the spine. If you want to deepen that twist, turn your gaze over to the left here. That's going to bring that twist all the way up into the neck. Ooh, I'm feeling it right now. It's subtle, but man, it's making me yawn, which is what twists always make me do. Taking a couple deep breaths here, really feeling into that stretch. Good. And then inhale, press into that right elbow, bring the legs back up into center. Go ahead and extend your left leg up toward the sky and then right leg straight out. So now we're creating an L with our legs or a 90-degree angle. Take your fingers, either interlace them behind your thigh or maybe up behind your calf, just not behind the knee. And then on the next exhale, gently draw this leg toward the body. So now we're getting a nice stretch to the back of that left leg, nice hamstring stretch. If it's accessible, you can always reach up and grab that left leg as well. So pressing that heel toward the sky. So we're lengthening that leg as much as we can. And then at the same time, pulling the leg toward you. Taking some nice deep breaths here. This is where the body will start to tighten up because the stretch is so intense. So notice that the shoulders have crept up toward the earlobes, drop those down. Take a full breath here. Keep your right foot gently flexed here, but you don't need to be pulling the toes directly onto your shin. Good. And notice as you take some breaths here, are you able to pull that left leg toward the body a little bit more? Feeling that pull open. Good. And then inhale, let's go ahead. Bring that leg back into neutral. We're going to bend the knee and bring the knee to the outside of the body. Bring the arm to the inside of the knee and grab that foot. If that's inaccessible for you, you can always use a yoga strap, a tie, a towel, an old t-shirt, whatever you have available here. Okay. But we're going to grab that foot and then bring that foot so it's as parallel to the ceiling as we can get it. And then draw the knee down to the left side of the body, coming into recline lizard. So as we come into this posture, we're really getting into that left hip there. We're opening it up, drawing that knee down. If it's helpful, right hand can rest on that left hip. Or right hand can rest on that right hip there. It can also come out to the side if that feels good. So just taking a couple deep breaths here as we really get deep into this hip stretch here. You'll notice later in this series that we will do this actually on the mat with blocks and then without support. So this is a great way to do this posture to get a nice deep hip stretch and have the full support of the mat. It's a great way to really target the stretch without getting any other kind of exercise or stretch in other parts of the body, which sometimes we get when we're doing kind of the quote full expression of a posture. Good. So let's take one more nice full breath here. Nice deep inhale. Nice deep exhale. One more inhale. Good. And then exhale. Let's go ahead. Bring both soles of the feet back to the floor, knees in little mountains. Let's release the legs. So arms out to a T, windshield wipe those knees back and forth, getting a nice release here. Woo, I'm feeling that. Good. And then when you feel complete and ready in that, let's go ahead and come back into neutral and we'll go on to the opposite side. So go ahead and take that right leg, lift it up, bring the ankle to the top of the left knee, and then gently press that right knee away, creating your figure four. Leaving the legs where they are, arms are out to a T. Allow the legs to fall over to the left this time, just as they are. So side of the left leg comes down to the floor, sole of the right foot comes down to the floor. Again, if you need, you can always have a block underneath that foot for support. You've got three different heights, so notice what feels right for you. And then as you come into this position, see if you can press that right knee away so it's pointing straight up to the top of the room. So you're getting a nice release through the outside of your legs here. Again, we're also getting a subtle twist through the spine. So if you want to deepen it, go ahead and turn your gaze over to the right here. Oh, such a good stretch. And then taking a couple deep breaths here, noticing if the shoulders are creeping up, seeing if there's tension anywhere else in the body, and see if you can release that and really focus on the stretch to the outside of that right leg here. Good work. Go ahead and press into that left elbow. Bring those legs back into center. Extend your right leg toward the sky. Left leg comes down to the mat. We've created that 90-degree angle or that L with our legs. Take those fingers, interlace them either behind the thigh or behind the shin, just not on your knee joint here. And then on the next exhale, go ahead and start to draw that leg toward the body here. Now, especially when we get into these deep stretches, you may notice that one leg or one side is more flexible than the other. That's okay. It happens because we tend to favor one side over the other. So what's important is that you do the stretch on both sides, not that you reach the same depth on both sides. So just get to that point, that edge where you're feeling a good stretch here, an intensity that feels manageable, and then hang out there, start to breathe. Again, really reaching the heel toward the sky, really extending through it so we get that full stretch through the back of that right leg. Oh, I don't know about you, but I am feeling it. So shoulders are shrugged down. Kind of create that soft belly here, focusing on the breath. Good. And then inhale, go ahead, release that leg back into neutral. Left leg stays where it is. We're going to bend that right knee, bring it to the outside of the body, reach with that right hand and grab the right foot. Again, using a strap, a towel, an old necktie if you have that instead here, if you cannot actually reach the foot. And then go ahead and bring that sole of the foot so it's almost parallel with the top of the mat, doesn't have, or top of the room, doesn't have to be perfect. And then focus on drawing that knee down toward the floor here, coming into recline lizard. So again, left leg stays extended, left hand can come to rest on top of that left hip if you'd like. We're pulling our right knee down toward the floor, getting this nice opening on this right side. I know for me, this is a more intense side. I tend to favor my right side. So right now it's feeling really crunchy. So taking a couple deep breaths here, again, noticing you may feel similar or different one side from the other. There's not a right or wrong experience. Instead, it's just important that we do these stretches on both sides, that we really care for our body in this way. So taking a couple nice full breaths here. Excellent. And then inhale, go ahead and release that sole of the foot back to the floor. Both knees come up into little mountains, arms out to a T. Let's just do a quick release here, windshield wiping those knees back and forth. Yeah, feeling that blood flow going into the hip once again. Woo. And then coming into center here, allow the knees to fall open wide, soles of the feet to come together for reclined bound angle. Hands can rest on the hips. You can keep them out to at a T. You can also reach them up overhead. This is such a lovely way to open up those shoulders, open up the heart center. It's one I absolutely love. If you need some extra support, you can always grab your blocks and place them under the knees on whatever side feels most supportive here to help with that opening, right? We don't want to open too far before we're ready. So just noticing what your body needs. And as you find that position, taking just a couple full deep breaths here, nice deep inhale, really feel that belly expand toward the sky. Then exhale out slowly. Feel that belly button drop down toward the spine. Another full inhale. Another deep exhale. Final breath, deep inhale. Deep exhale. Now, moving into final relaxation, you are welcome to stay right here if that's what you'd like. You can extend one leg or the other for fallen tree. You can extend both legs for traditional final relaxation. Find a position that's comfortable for your arms, whatever that looks like for you. Sometimes it's nice to place a hand on the belly and the hand on the chest to really connect with the breathing. You're also welcome to lay on your side or your belly, or you can even return to a seated position for just a seated final meditation here. And as you settle into this final posture, take a few moments to tune into the breath. Begin to notice how fast or slow is it? How deep or shallow? Notice the quality of each breath on your inhales, the quality of each breath on your exhales. Feeling the gentle rise and fall of the belly, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. And allowing your attention to just gently rest on the breath here, noticing those movements with curiosity. If the mind wanders off, it's okay, it happens. Celebrate the fact that you noticed it and then come back to the breath. If it's helpful, perhaps reincorporate that mantra we use at the beginning of practice. Inhale, I deserve. Exhale, kindness. Inhale, I deserve. Exhale, kindness. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments today. I'm going to get quiet for this final part of practice so you can have it to yourself. Please know I'm watching the time and I respect yours, and I will let you out of this posture before the end of practice. So lean back, let go, just rest right here. Our true home is the present moment. Bringing your awareness back to this space, taking a deep inhale through the nose, filling your belly, lungs, and chest with air, before slowly exhaling that breath back out. Take another deep inhale as you begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Move the arms and legs, gently waking your body up. When it feels right for you, rolling onto one side, pausing there with an arm or a hand beneath your head. It's here that I invite you to bring back to mind your intention or your purpose that you set at the beginning of your practice that answered the question, why did I get on my mat? Take another deep inhale as you make your way on up into a seated position, and we close out our practice together today. So finding that comfortable seat, rooting into your sits bones, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, the shoulders come forward and up. Exhale, drop them back and down. Hands come into a comfortable position whether on the knees, palms up or down, in your lap or at your heart center. Closing the eyes if you'd like. We take a moment to express gratitude for yet another lovely day here on earth and for our bodies that allow us to do so many things, including yoga. Thank you all so much for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. It was a joy and an honor, and I hope to be able to do so again in the future. The light in me, it sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this hips and low back sequence and series that's part of the larger beginner, intermediate, and advanced series here on Wild Blue Yonder Media. Again, my name is Alexis. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a joy to be in this practice with you. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, share this practice with anyone who you think would benefit, and make sure to tune in for next week's episode where we start to get into some of these deeper stretches with the support of our blocks. So thank you so much again for joining me. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next practice. Bye.